my name is Kimberly. I want to welcome you to my channel, and I also want to welcome you to my crazy life. I am in my 50s, and after I finally got used to empty nest, part of my family moved back in.
And she's whispering it. Say yeah, yeah. Say yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I love you.
You.
Mwah.
Say I love you.
You.
Good morning. Today I am making bread, and I'm going to share this recipe with you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, little set helper. You going bye-bye like that? I love your choice of one slipper and a boot. That is perfect. I want to take a side step for just a second and explain a couple of things. My name is Kimberly McIntyre, and I have a YouTube, and my son created it for me. He set it up for me. My business name is Entire Healing. So when I set up my Instagrams, my Entire Healing Instagram is all about health. But I needed an outlet, and I just like to do crazy, stupid stuff. So I did it under my name. Well, if someone goes to my YouTube first, and then they go to my Instagram under my name, they might wonder what I'm about. So I wanted to explain to you what's going on. I'm trying to figure out if I need to change it. Maybe I need to change the name because it is very confusing. But my health coaching, Entire Healing. That's why it says Entire Healing at the top on my YouTube channel. Okay, so now we're going to get on with the bread. So a long time ago, a long time ago, I started milling my own wheat. I had found out how much better it is for you. It's a totally different ball game. Like, you cannot even compare store-bought bread, not even the Food for Life, and that is what I recommend if you don't do this. But you can't compare that with what I am doing right now. When we take wheat berries and we grind them fresh, there is so much nutrients in that, and we are locking that in while we are baking it. So we get to enjoy that in the bread. It is not the same. The amount of gluten, which you can add gluten to make it rise more fluffy and all of that wonderful stuff, but I'm not going to add any more gluten. So the amount of gluten that is in there is very low, and that gluten, if you do not have leaky gut and you do not suffer from celiac, is very healthy, and it should not be something that causes issues in your gut. It's actually a very good source of fiber, an amazing source of fiber. And I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me and they have said, please don't take my bread away, because it is doing so many good things for my gut and elimination, and they feel better. Many people have gotten off of several different types of medication because they have done it like this. Again, this isn't for the controversial. I'm not going to get into any more of that in this video, but if you would like to take a look at the one with Sue Becker, please head on over there, because she is a wealth of knowledge. So this is my lovely, we're going to call this my hands. So what this does, this is called a bosh, and this is going to do the work. Instead of me having to hand knead the dough, this is going to do it for me. I'm going to go ahead and mill my flour for the bread, and then we'll start putting our ingredients in the bosh. Here's the hard white wheat, and I buy this in bulk, but I put it in here it's just easier to get to. So I'm going to switch this to bread because it's a coarser grind mill. Smells so good. First of all, I have to say, pretty much everything I've learned has been through Sue Becker, and they have a little shop in Woodstock, which I love to go and visit and just kind of browse. And you can get wheat, you can get all kinds of grains, rice, beans, and they have it in bulk. And those things, with the way that they package them, they last for a really long time. So if you're one of those preppers, that's a great place to stock up. So we are going to start with 2 cups of water. You can use olive oil if you would like, but today I'm going to use butter. And we're going to pour in 1/3 cup. And again, this is warm, and so it's going to raise that temperature just slightly. If you would like to order any of these products, and I am not an affiliate for Becker's, but that is one place that you can get I got all of this equipment from Bread Becker's. When you are baking bread and you're using honey, like just go ahead and get the gallon because you're gonna be using it and it's cheaper when you're buying it in bulk. You can do a half a cup, obviously you can do whatever you want, but you can use a half a cup of honey. I'm gonna use a fourth because I don't want my bread to be that sweet. If I'm gonna add jelly, you know, that's gonna add some sweetness, but if I'm eating a sandwich or something like that, I don't really want my bread to be sweet. I'm using Orange Blossom. I have Wildflower too. I honestly, I guess I'm not a honey connoisseur because I can't really tell the difference. But it does taste good. 1/4 cup honey going in, going in. Make sure we get all of it. If you choose to use olive oil instead of butter, make sure you're getting quality. You want quality. I always call the company and find out how many polyphenols are in that bottle. You want at least 100. This is totally optional, but I am going to use 1 egg because that's going to help give it some more fluff. So since I am not using the extra gluten and I'm not using lecithin, I'm going to use the egg just to kind of help it rise a little bit more. So in the end, if we don't have big fluffy loaves, it's because I didn't add the extra gluten and the lecithin, but I don't mind at all. It's still going to be fabulous. I'm going to go ahead and give this a little swirl just to get that egg broken down a bit. Now I'm going to add 3 cups of the flour and the yeast and the salt. And take this off until we're ready to go. Give me more room to work, not make a mess. This is my favorite yeast to use, and I've used the wrong kind, didn't get near as good of results. So when after I open this package, I'll just put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in a dark space until I need it the next time. So I'm gonna be using 3½ teaspoons of the yeast. I'm just gonna sprinkle that around. Look how funny that looks with it sticking off the side like that. Static. 3½. 2 teaspoons of salt, and if you notice, mine is pretty in color and variegated minerals. That's what you want to see. One and 2. Now I'm going to turn the mixer on just to get that going. And I'm going to add the remaining flour. So I have already added 3 cups, and now I need to add 2 more. Mix that up. This time we're actually going to let it go for about 5 to 10 minutes, and what I'm looking for is for this to be smooth and elastic, and then we're going to let it rise until it doubles. Let's check the bread. Let's see if it's doubled. Yeah, there we go. Look! It's doubled! That's active. She's reminding me of like one of the fuzzy animals. Furbies? Yeah! She has her Furby voice. Good. What we're going to do now is we're going to get this out and we're going to form it into 2 loaves, and apparently I need 2 hands right now. Hey, I'll put you down. Okay, slide that off. We're going to need a little bit more. I am a little rusty. It's been a little while since I have made bread, and what I should have done is I should have added a little bit more flour when it was mixing. You want it to pull away from the side of the bowl, but I will add a little bit more now. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. First, I'm going to get some flour on my hands. We're going to sprinkle a little bit on top. And we're gonna put some right here. Not saying this is gonna be pretty yet. Now we're just gonna scoop it from the side. Let that come on out. So I used to make bread every week, and I would make 5 loaves at a time with 3 children, 2 growing boys. We went through a lot of it. And then I went through empty nest and dropped the bread. But it's back in my life now, and I'm gonna start making it again because it is so much better for you. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about was there's the Ezekiel bread, which is the sprouted in the store, made by Food for Life. And if you don't want to make your bread, that's an okay alternative for sure. But what this does for you, so my necklace, will you pull my necklace out?
You hold her necklace.
Can you pull my long necklace?
Get the necklace.
Can you pull it? Okay, thank you, thank you. So this necklace helps to protect you from 5G. And I know that might sound a little hocus pocus, but it's a very serious thing, and you need to be thinking about it because we have 5G everywhere, and the 5G is impacting us negatively, our hormone levels, things like that. So this necklace helps to protect us from the 5G, and this has been verified, and there are a lot of trustworthy people that are actually selling these. They become affiliates because they believe in this product so much. So that's one of the things that I do. But the other thing that will protect you from the 5G is this bread. So the phytic acid that people want to say is so bad and that we need to eliminate helps for us to get rid of radiation that we've been exposed to, heavy metal exposure, and also 5G. So it's doing good things for your body. Now, we do want to be mindful and not eat too much. But the way that this has been put together by God, who's super smart, this has every component in it so that our body will absorb it just perfectly, and it protects your body. Okay, so that's as much as I'm gonna knead that bad boy. I'm gonna wash my hands, and then we'll get this in the pans. So I'm gonna take my scraper, cut that right in half, at least what it looks like that to me. Cut that right in half. And take that. We're gonna form it into a little better loaf. We're gonna put that to bed. Put it to bed. Roll that out just a little bit. Put it to bed. And then we are gonna let it rise in the pan. I'm gonna put the oven on proof, and then we'll get back to that in about 20 minutes. I have a proof button, which is amazing. Anyway, it's 100 degrees, so between 80 and 100 degrees is what you want your oven to be on. Put those right there. And then there's my beautiful little proof. And we just press start. There we go. And we're gonna set the timer for about 20 minutes. Pray to God it rises. You just never know. You never know what So originally in this video, it was supposed to be peanut butter cookies, which are absolutely amazing, and the bread. But a couple of mistakes were made, and since I redid it, it just made the video so long. So you can go to part 2 to find the cookies. Well worth it. And when I was getting all of my stuff out to make the bread, I got the 2 smaller pans out. I should have stuck with it. I ended up going with the bigger pans, and there was something that I read in the information. I got a little bit confused, but the 8-inch loaf pans are the size for this to make it turn out bigger so that they actually rise the way that they're supposed to. Mistake number 1. Number 2, I forgot, because it's been a little bit, that whenever you're adding flour, regardless of what the recipe calls for, once the dough starts to pull away from the sides of the machine, that's when you stop adding flour. I didn't get it to that point. I just did what the recipe called for as far as the flour is concerned, and I didn't add enough, so I had to add it later, and then I didn't bake it quite long enough. It still tasted delicious. We still ate it, but I'm glad that I did it again, got the rise that I needed, got the texture on point, and that's why this video ended up a little longer than it should have been. Okay, so I messed up on a couple of things with the bread today, and I am not a quitter. So I'm gonna go ahead and make 2 more loaves and put it in the right size pan, and we'll see what happens. This time I'm gonna add the oil instead of the butter. So we're using olive oil, and I'm using a 1/2 cup of oil instead of a 1/3 cup of butter, eliminating the egg. No egg in this loaf. Way more bouncy, smooth, and elastic. Not sticking at all, but yet super smooth and fluffy. So we'll see how well it rises. This is when you put on the egg wash before you bake the bread. I am telling you, rusty, rusty, rusty. I did this for years and years, and little minor details that I forgot. Look at that. That is what you want to see. So much better. So just remember, this is without gluten and without the lecithin. So if they did have those, then they would have risen a little bit higher, but I just thought about it. Tastes great to me without it. That's it. Much better. Winner this time.